You're welcome. This is a fun little trick that you can do on really anybody. So before you do the trick, you want to do an example of what the person's going to do. So you say, okay, let's pick two numbers. They could be any number, and you just say, okay, say we pick 5 and 9. Again, you choose any numbers. And then you're going to sit down with the person and say, okay, to make the third number on the list, we're going to add these two numbers together to make the next number. So 5 plus 9 is 14, and that becomes the third number. And then you continue this process. So you have 9 plus 14 is 23, 14 plus 23 is 37, and you keep going until you make 10 numbers in the sequence. Now again, some of you recognize this is kind of the basis for how the Fibonacci sequence is generated. Don't mention that. Just tell them this is what they're going to do. And so once they understand through this example here, then you tell them they can choose any number they want, any two numbers, and they should not tell you. So let's say they choose 6 and 11. Again, they could choose any numbers. They know they're going to add them, so if they're too big, they may need a calculator depending on who your friend is. But you say choose two numbers, and then you're going to generate the list like we did before to make 10 numbers. And the whole time they do this, they are not showing you. So this is what it looks like when your friend has generated a list of the 10 numbers. Notice they did 6 plus 10, they got 17. Then they did the previous one, 11 plus 17, they got 28. Then they did 17 plus 28, got 45. So forth, the same pattern until they got 10 numbers here. And they're doing this all in secret on a pad of paper. They're not showing you, and they also did not tell you the initial two numbers they chose. Again, if they chose really big numbers, they may need a calculator for this. And once they have 10 numbers, you tell the person to add all the numbers together. 6 plus 11 plus 17 plus 28 plus 45, all 10 numbers together. And I want them, they can use a calculator if they need to, and they should write that number down in secret, not on that same piece of paper. And again, if you add all those numbers together, you can try it yourself, you get 1,298. So again, they're keeping this number hidden from the list of numbers. And at this point, they show you the list of numbers. Okay, the list up here of 10 numbers, and you glance at it, and then you say, oh, you know what, I bet those numbers add up to, and then in the matter of 2 seconds or so, you tell them 1,298. The trick, when you pull it off, it's quite impressive. It seems almost impossible. It looks like you are actually adding the 10 numbers in your head kind of instantaneously, but you're not. There's a pattern to a sequence that's generated in this manner. When you take a look at their numbers, the only one you need to look at is the 7th number in the sequence. Regardless of what the first two numbers they chose, all you need is the 7th number. So in this case, it's 118. And then what you do is, you take that number and you multiply it by 11. And no matter what, it will give you the sum of the entire sequence. That's just a property of sequences that are built in this manner. Now you might think, how am I supposed to multiply by 11 in my head super quickly? Well, I can show you right now, and I do have a different video on that if you look in my channel. But let's look at it real quick, how to multiply a 3-digit number by 11. Okay, first, you separate the digits. You put the ones digit over here and the hundreds digit here. And then you take these two numbers, 1 and 8, and you add them together. So 1 plus 8 equals 9. Next, you take these two digits here, and you add them, and 1 plus 1 equals 2. So there's your answer, 1,298. So you can do this in your head kind of instantaneously. So try it, and again, it doesn't matter what numbers your friends pick at the beginning. The sequence, it's always the 7th number times 11 equals the sum of the entire sequence. Okay, give it a try. It has a really cool effect. Practice it once on your own. Make sure you master the times 11, and then give it a go.